Following concerns over research to embed vaccines in produce, the Tennessee legislature passed a bill which requires any food containing vaccines or vaccine materials like mRNA to be labeled as a pharmaceutical drug. Governor Lee signed the bill into law on April 22nd of this year. The bill was a response to a University of California Riverside research project looking into whether mRNA vaccines could be implanted into edible plants which would then be consumed. The research was funded by a $500,000 grant from the National Science Foundation. In a 2021 press release, Associate Professor of Botany and Plant Sciences Juan Pablo said they were testing the approach with spinach and lettuce so that farmers could eventually grow entire fields of it. Another researcher, Nicole Steinmetz, said in the same release that they plan to use nanoparticles for gene delivery to plants. In 2022, researchers at the University of Ottawa in Canada used bacteria to transfer the gene sequence of the COVID spike protein from the bacteria into plants. They tested a variety of edible plants including arugula, cucumber, lettuce, spinach, and tomato. The spike protein expression was finally observed in lettuce, which was chosen as the most successful candidate for an edible vaccine. In 2023, Thomas Massie, a U.S. congressional representative from Kentucky, raised concerns over the use of federal money to create, quote, transgenic edible vaccines, unquote.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from Kentucky.
Mr. Chairman, I rise in support of my amendment, which states that none of the funds made available by this act may be used to fund any grant related to any transgenic edible vaccine. Does the term transgenic edible vaccine sound far-fetched? Well, it's not. We're funding it. In fact, scientists from the University of California, Riverside, funded with your taxpayer dollars, have been studying whether they can turn edible plants, such as lettuce and spinach, into mRNA vaccine factories, thereby creating a transgenic edible vaccine. One associate professor at UCR explained that ideally a single plant would produce enough mRNA to vaccinate a single person. We are testing this approach with spinach and lettuce and have long-term goals of people growing it in their own gardens. Farmers could also eventually grow entire fields of it. I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think the American people should be funding this. And I think, and I would hope, that we've learned something from the COVID experience with SARS-CoV-2, that some of our science projects aren't the best ideas.
Food labels allow shoppers to make informed choices. Just like informed consent for medical interventions, it is important to insist on full disclosure. The customer is ultimately in control. The corporations and the government derive their existence from the consent of the customer.